Tactics Talk with Guido. Got a replay sent in by Night Dog here in the T29. He's top tier. And a 357 is a great setup for him with a tier 7 tank on top in the T29, which is probably one of the best heavies at tier 7. This is an American tier 7 heavy tank that Night Dog does a very good job in. And he sent this video into me, or this replay into me, and said, hey, this illustrates one of the main points you talk quite a bit about, and that is that once you win your flank, go back to your cap instead of continuing to push to the enemy flank. And I know I say this a lot, I go over and over that, but unfortunately a lot of people don't learn this. And it is a great way to increase your win rate. As I've said before, if you're a sub 50% player, or even up to about 55%, if all you ever did was go to your flank win and go back to your cap, you would increase your win rate probably in the 3 to 5% region. If you're better than 55, you're probably already doing this. You'll see that we have loaded in here to Live Oaks, and Night Dog is headed over to where the heavies typically go in the northwest. And what ends up happening a lot on this map anymore is if they spawn, the team that spawns down in the southwest will sometimes not even go into the city. They'll sit back on their ridge, which is a fairly strong position to defend from. Night Dog's side does not have any such position, so it is a strangely imbalanced map in that respect. However, if they get spotted there, they are quite vulnerable to being shot from the side, to artillery, to even being shot in the face. As you see Night Dog work in here. I'll show you what he's seeing. He actually gets a shot in there, rushes it maybe just a little bit on the tank there. KV-1, he's got a KV-2. He didn't get spotted, so that's interesting. Spends a little bit of time messing around here trying to get a side scrape going on, but he does eventually find his shot on the KV-2 and he drops one on him. This is a good idea, just staying locked in on him. He's not spotted. I probably would have backed up a little bit sooner, Night Dog, and you would have been zoomed in faster. Unfortunately, that goes into the dirt. KV-2 goes down anyway. If you look over on the east side, you can see that his team is being pushed fairly even. Both teams have lost 4 tanks, but Night Dog's tanks have been pushed back. His forces have been pushed back on the east side. That's not a very defensible position they're in. They're all out in the open there unless they can get up and over the tracks and get to the west side of the tracks. So they're in a bit of trouble right there, especially considering the tanks that the enemy has pushed into there. Night Dog's going to move up into this hard cover. Some of these buildings here are destructible, so you do have to watch for that. Come around the corner and he's got that building right there. Takes a shot at it thinking maybe he can knock the roof off it, but that one doesn't get damaged. Would be nice if all the buildings in the game could be damaged and knocked down given enough firepower, but that's not true. And he'll move up into this little depression right here, which is quite useful actually for moving forward, leapfrogging forward from cover to cover, especially in the T29 with great gun depression. He can move right up in here. And see that over on the east side is starting to develop into kind of a problem. Night Dog is pushing in here, at least initially. Gets unlucky there on the Hellcat. Shoots right into the ground, but Hellcat takes a hit. And he's got a decision to make on how to push in here. There is a tier 7 artillery he has to deal with. Foolishly, this Hellcat comes up and gets taken out. Night Dog initially, looks like he's trying to go to the right, but he's going to cut over to the left. Now this is dangerous for a lot of reasons right here. Number one, if they can come around to the left here, they can kind of shoot him in the side. But more importantly, these tanks over here, and potentially this Chi-Nu that's been sighted here, can shoot all the way across all this open area here if they get up on the tracks. And if he continues a little too far to the east, they will have shots on him right there. I like coming around this other side if you're trying to deal with the guys that are still turtled up and camping behind this ridge right here, which is where these two guys are. I think this side is probably the better idea over here. But Night Dog's going to come around the corner. He actually catches somebody out in the open. And there he is, the KV-1, and takes him down. Nicely done. He's going to get actually hit. Bounces the shot from the Chi-Nu and then takes a hit from the artillery. And you can see that the enemy forces are pushing in on the east and starting to win over there towards the cap. That's something that takes mini-map awareness. You're going to have to watch that right there. You can see that his forces that went to the town had a good time because not much was sent by the red forces over to the town, and they sweep them up, and now they're all pushing into cap. And right there, immediately, Night Dog sees what's happening on the east side of the map, and he turns around and he heads on over there. And that's the part where I talk about you win your flank, turn around, and go back. There's really no good reason for you to go to the cap in this case. You can see that the E-25, the Cromwell, the 3002, even the KV-1 are still headed to cap. Now, why do I say that? Because there were only a couple tanks back by their cap back there. And unless you pile 3 guys on, which almost never happens because you're chasing around guys like that Chi-Nu that's hanging out back there, who can, oh, by the way, reset you. Why not always go back to your cap, clear off your cap, and then the campers that the enemy has, let them camp. They're out of position. You go back to where the fight matters right here on the cap and start taking guys down. Now, he's going to get a shot on the Challenger, which is a good idea, and probably a good idea to take out the Challenger and kill him right here if you can. But I'll tell you what, Night Dog, I may have taken that shot on the 01 experimental that comes across, because those are 2 different guys with 2 different amounts of cap points, and that's critical right here. He's going to get very close. You hit that guy once, that takes his points away, but now he doesn't have very many points, right? He's used his points. No one experimental doesn't really have that great of a gun anymore. I think I would have pushed in and looked for shots on that IS. You can see that you're only taking a few cap points off every time you do this. There's a little bit, and now that guy's hiding, and you're at 5 seconds, and this is going to end up being very close. Somebody got a shot on someone, took it down to 10. You go ahead and get this shot right in there, and it ends up making it happen, but it's a little bit close. And I think with the armor and the depression of the T-29, had you actually come up a little higher instead of coming around the edge, you could have used the depression, protected your hole a little better up here, and just poked up your turret, and you'd have been able to take a shot on any one of those 3 guys. And I would just sequentially work one and the other than the next one, and take off all the cap points that you can, and then start just working on killing those guys, because that IS was holding a lot of cap points. In fact, there's another tank there, maybe it's the T-67 that's hiding behind the 01, that probably has the most cap points. In that case, what you can do there is load some HE and take a shot right next to him, maybe underneath the 01 that's close enough that will end up splashing that guy. Lots of options. You made it happen, but be very careful about that end game resetting the cap, making sure you're shooting the right guy, because I've done that before. Come in, continue to shoot at one guy, and then, oh crap, I can't get the shot on the one that's actually holding all the cap points, and end up losing that way. You can see that your guys are jumped on cap, and they end up winning right there, but it's a very near thing. Alright, man, I hope you like what you saw. If you do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and as always, we will see you.